Welcome to the third lesson of our Hebrew course. Over the last two lessons, we saw the consonants, their categories, the vowels, their categories, and a couple of other things. Today we're going to be talking about nouns. Nouns in English are a little different than nouns in Hebrew. Nouns in English don't have a gender assigned to them. We have the singular, plural noun. So for example, the word horse is the singular and the word horses is the plural. However, they don't have a gender value assigned. In Hebrew, like in other languages, we do have a value assigned. So for example, horse in the masculine will look like this. A horse in the feminine will have a little ending right here, which is a comet and a hey. So if you see a comet, hey, it will usually tell you that that noun is a singular feminine noun. Same thing goes for horses. Horses in English is either male or female. It can be talking about both of them also. But if we have a pack of male horses, in Hebrew it will look like the word horses, which is written like this, sus. So you will see these three right here, S, shurek, samek, shurek, and samek again. And then at the end, you will see a hirek, yod, and a mem. So again, you see how if we change this is male horses, a group of male horses. Change this to susot, right? It will be a group of female horses. Now, what if it's a pack of both horses? Well, that's why we have the dual, which is non-gender specific. This one can happen either in the masculine or in the feminine. So if it's two of them, if it's a male horse and a female horse, we just refer to them as two horses going by. So we'll look something like Susai. So that's how it works. Now, on top of being masculine and feminine, nouns in Hebrew have two states. They have the absolute state and they have the construct state. Again, they have their own different endings. So for example, here we have in, here we have e, here we have ot. It looks exactly the same. Here we have a, and here we have at. So there are some things that happen when the noun goes into the construct state. We'll talk about the construct chain a little later, but I wanted to introduce to you that there's two different categories that you need to memorize. The absolute nouns and the construct nouns. Now, in order to not leave you hanging and to kind of give you a glimpse, what happens is that sometimes nouns couple together. So when nouns are followed by each other, it's called a construct chain. So what happens is like we have three nouns next to each other in the Hebrew text, and here we have noun number one, noun number two, and then noun number three. At the end of the chain, that will look like one of these. So we'll have one of these endings. And then these two will have one of these endings right here. We'll talk about it a little later. Another thing to also notice is that the vowels get reduced. So usually, for example, here we have a comment. It goes into a patah right here. So it goes from long to short. And if you have a short one, it goes to a reduced one. So those are a couple of the things. Now, another trick that I want to share in order to recognize absolute nouns. Let's say that you're confused right now. You're like, okay, how do I really know when a noun is absolute or when it's constant? So either, number one, it has one of the absolute endings, right? However, as you see, these two right here, the masculine singular and the feminine plural, are similar to the masculine singular here and the feminine plural here. They're exactly the same. So how do you tell? Well, remember that the construct chain only happens when nouns are next to each other. So if you have this just on its own, then that tells you it's an absolute. So that's one way. It has one of the endings. But if that's not enough, another way to know that a noun is absolute is that it's a proper noun. So it's a name, a city like Abraham or Egypt. So those words, for example, are proper nouns. They're always in the absolute form. And the last thing is that they have a pronoun. We need to talk about this a little later, but I wanted to introduce to you, like, the couple of ways that you know that a noun is in the absolute form, the absolute state. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share the video. We appreciate your support. So again, quick summary, just absolute, construct, memorize the different possibilities, and a couple of the tricks. Thanks for watching again. Hope you have a great day.